Hey everybody, welcome back to WildCare. We have such a cool program today. Melissa, what are we learning about today?
The need for speed for the Peregrine Falcon.
Oh, so cool.
So I thought it'd be fun to talk about the fastest animal on the planet, which is the Peregrine Falcon. We're going to go through his techniques here real quick, or their techniques, and then we'll actually bring in the bird. These birds are very high-strung, and you'll see why. And I tend to talk with my hands a lot, so I don't want to freak him out.
Definitely don't want to startle the peregrine.
No,
yes.
We don't want to freak him out. So like all falcons, they have pointed wings, really stiff feathers that helps to cut through the air, make them very, very aerodynamic.
Okay.
Now, if we look at the structure, right, this is the keel bone right here, right, and this is the red muscle fibers, and these fibers increase oxygen uptake.
Okay.
They also metabolize energy, and they help maintain prolonged flight, which is important because their migration, they're going across the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea.
I didn't think I knew that peregrines did that. That's rather amazing. Okay, so they need to be fast, and they also need to have endurance.
Yeah, they need to be fast and have endurance, and so these large red fibrous muscles help with that.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the dive, or where they get the 240 miles an hour.
Which is what makes them the fastest animal.
What makes them the fastest animal. We do a terminal velocity, I believe, of 118. So these guys are going 240. So the dive is called the stoop. And this is what it looks like.
I love this picture. It's so amazing. Look at the incredible aerodynamic shape of that bird as he's doing that.
So the stoop, they fold in their wings, of course, make them pretty much looks like a missile coming out of the sky there.
A bullet, right?
Right. Again, increasing aerodynamic ability through the air there, and also lines them up better to intercept their prey.
Okay, sure.
So what is happening to him or them at this high speed? So here are their adaptations. Okay, one, they have very fast or very powerful heartbeats, about 900 up to 900 beats per minute.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. So at rest, about 258 beats per minute. Go into that dive, up to 900 beats per minute.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they climb really high, go into that dive or go into that stoop. I always tell the kids, if you stuck your head outside the window when your parents were driving, and you know how it's hard to breathe, the faster your parents went, well, that is definitely a problem for the peregrine, but nature has given them a great adaptation. Okay. It's called the tubercle, which is the cone inside the nostril there.
Oh, interesting.
And what that does is it deflects the shock waves of the air pressure so that they can breathe normally.
Oh, so fascinating.
All right.
Do other falcons have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, the military used it for the design for the SR-71.
Oh, okay. The same concept of the tubercle?
Same
tubercle?
Concept. Tubercle, yep. It's called cone or a baffle, tubercle, whatever you want to call it. Slows down the air pressure, so it helps maintain airflow and air pressure into the turbine engine.
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't
I
that
totally
neat?
love it when you see technology that has come straight out of nature. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, when the military decides to make any new plane like the F-22 or F-35 Lightning, they turn to the Falcons and the Accipiters for design. In fact, there's actually no military aircraft that can compete with what the Falcons can do. There's absolutely, nature does it best.
That's so cool. Okay, fascinating. That's awesome.
And so at such intense speeds, these guys, when they are going, flying through the air and doing their supersonic speeds, it's anywhere from 8 to 9 Gs, and they're wearing a G-force suit, which is what the pressure is.
Okay.
When a Peregrine Falcon is doing this, it's 25 Gs.
Wow.
Right?
And his little body's able to withstand that. That's just amazing.
Yep. And if you are traveling at such high speed, also, you got to protect your eyes. So on their eyes, they have a third semi-transparent eyelid called the nictitating membrane.
Sure.
It comes over the eye.
A lot of birds have that, right?
Yeah.
Cats have that too.
Yeah.
A lot of animals have that. Yeah.
I call it the goggles on them.
Sure.
It protects them from dust particles. Obviously, your eyes are going to dry out real quick if you're going that high speeds. But their tears are the consistency of maple syrup.
Oh, of course. A thicker tear isn't going to blow away as quickly, they're going to evaporate as quickly.
Right. So, so they've got their goggles on, they're ready to go, they're in that dive, they're going to catch up to their prey really quick.
Question for you on the tears: is that a problem in captivity? You would think that would gunk up, if you're not doing that on a regular basis, doing the dive.
Yeah. No, we haven't encountered any problems with the eyes on him.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so in that dive, you catch up really, really quick to their prey. They actually have to slow down.
Really?
They do. They're going way too fast.
Uh-oh.
Pedal to the metal. Got to slow down. Put on the brakes. And when they do that, let's say that they are going for a duck, because these are bird hunters. So ducks, geese, pigeons are
fantastic for them. Yeah, that's why they do so well in the cities.
Yes,
of course, peregrines
abundant.
are very abundant in the cities now.
So if they're going after a duck, we'll just say a duck. They're going to catch up to that duck real fast. They are actually going to turn upside down and take these very, very long toes right here, and they're going to make a fist. And they're going to strike
interesting?
it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they're going to strike them like really hard, and it's going to knock them unconscious, and then the ground will take care of the rest.
So it's to be assumed that they aim for the head.
Yes.
Okay.
Aim for the head. And
now, like a pigeon, is he going to grab that in the air, or is he also going to pummel the pigeon?
Yeah, he can do both. So they can do the strike, right? And the way that I tell kids what that would be like is if you're standing on the sidewalk and somebody's driving by, it's like getting a bowling ball thrown at your head.
Wow.
That's how intense that hit is.
That's going to knock you out.
And then they can open up those really long toes and they can scrape them and injure them that way, or they can seize them.
Okay.
And once they've done that, right?
You do not mess with a peregrine falcon.
You don't mess with a peregrine falcon. And once they've done that, they use the notch here in their beak, and this is on falcons called the tomial tooth. Our kestrels have it as well.
Okay.
This severs the spine.
Yes. I love this. I learned so many things. This is so fun. That's amazing. I've never gotten a look at the tomial tooth before. So that's what they use to sever the spine, and then they have themselves a meal, right?
Right, and I call it the can opener.
It is very much a can opener.
Right?
Absolutely, it is very much a can opener. Isn't that interesting?
And so it's, again, a 20% success rate when it's an animal when it's a bird hunting another bird. It's about 20% success rate. So they don't always get their prey. So not every.
Still, that 20% seems really low. I mean, that seems like an awful lot of energy. I mean, you look at putting yourself into this position, 10 times and only actually getting lunch out of it twice. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and they have they have babies they have to take care of.
Sure.
They also use falcons to chase away other birds, like maybe airports and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're
Absolutely.
also used as
falconers do that.
Yep, mitigation. But it's hard out there, just really rough. But for them, like I said, they don't always get it right, and especially when they're young too, they're just learning.
Sure.
So
I cannot imagine what it takes to learn how to do that.
Yeah. So I think we have our guest.
Excellent.
So real quick about Pele here. Pele came to us in 2006, and he had a wing injury. And we tried to rehab him, get that wing injury healed, and he cannot maintain flight. He can't gain altitude. He needs that to do the stoop.
Right. I think I remember when we first decided to keep him as an ambassador, and of course all the ambassadors go through a significant amount of testing to make sure that A, they will never be releasable, B, they can handle the stresses of captivity, and C, that they're not suffering, they're not in any pain in any way, shape, or form. And I remember when we were looking at Pele, the conversation was that if he were a pigeon, you could probably let him go with the amount of flight that he has, or it's like he'd be able to kind of get around and do what he needed to do. But for something like a peregrine falcon, I mean, again, we'll look at that incredible picture and the amount of fitness and health that he has to have.
Yeah. And I mean these also animals are in the wild, and they're always working those muscles.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just like being a bodybuilder. You know, they're always constantly working on those muscles, and so I'm gonna go ahead and just get off camera just for a second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go grab him.
I'm gonna look at that.
Bear with me.
Tooth again, because I just find that fascinating. Look at that notch. What's the tooth called again?
Tomial tooth.
Tomial tooth. Okay, yeah. Tubercle is the little baffle in the nose, and then the tomial tooth. I just find that so interesting. It's the little can opener that the falcons use to sever the spinal cord. Nobody ever said that falcons we're gentle creatures. And we'll look at this amazing picture. Again, I just think these birds are so incredible. And of course, Pele is high-strung, and he's definitely prone to stress. So I can hear him coming onto the glove. All right. Oh, look at that handsome guy.
Just go ahead and put this right here and see if he'll let me
my
do
camera's
that.
not dealing well with the light. There we go.
Okay, hopefully everybody can hear me. Sorry. I'm going to do this one-handed and do it with the Peregrine Falcon. Things you learn how to do with a raptor on your hand.
Yes, you do.
So very handsome boy. You can obviously see the wing injury there, that droopy left wing.
Sorry, the light's not good.
Came to us in 2006, so that makes him 14 now.
About.
Yeah.
What's the lifespan?
You know, I want to recall it's in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
But not in the wild, not so good.
Not so much,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, again, with that success rate that you're looking at.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could easily live into his 20s in captivity here.
And he's actually on the smaller side, I would say, of a male falcon there.
The Peregrine Falcon is typical of many raptor species that the female is larger.
Much larger. So the actual largest falcon is the Gyr falcon. If you ever get a
they're
chance,
beautiful.
oh man, they are so gorgeous. But these guys, the word falcon or peregrine means the wanderer.
Sure.
So migration. These guys also can have a migration down to Chile as well.
Isn't that
There's short-term migrators and long-term migrators. So, and he's just checking us out, and he's absolutely beautiful. Of course, you know, we talked about Pele having that malar stripe.
Yep.
Of course, for him, it's a black cheek.
It's a black cheek. I guess he needs a lot more eye protection, doesn't he?
He does, and he has absolutely beautiful eyes. And I don't know if you can see his tubercle on that side or the toenail tooth, but yeah, those are his adaptations.
Krista says, please tell us their different types of prey foods.
Okay, so different types of prey would be any type of birds, songbirds, ducks, geese, quail.
So these guys aren't going to go for mice.
No. You know, push comes to shove, maybe, you know what I mean? But generally,
what about carrion? Would a peregrine ever?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, they're
absolutely.
opportunistic
Yep.
foragers, like most wild animals. So just any kind of bird.
And that hook beak and that toenail tooth help to rip off little pieces of a bird and bring it back to their babies.
Of
so
course it
it's
does.
very efficient as
Another
well, not
function
just
for that.
killing, but for also to tear it up there.
Both the male and the female take care of the young.
They're very great parents.
Yeah.
I believe they have some cams in the city too.
Yep, there's a wonderful peregrine cam. I'm drawing a blank on who's running it, but it's on top of one of the PG&E buildings, I think.
Yeah.
And just a great opportunity to watch these birds caring for their young. And of course, the cities make such great habitat for them because it replicates the cliffside habitat that they would normally choose. So these birds would normally nest on the side of steep cliffs in canyons.
Oh yes.
And you'll see them, you know, at the Grand Canyon and at Dead Horse Point and other places, big canyons. And so of course, you know, New York or downtown San Francisco, those big buildings have very much the same feeling.
And they have a very shrill, high pitch, and it just peels just the skin off your ears. The reason is though, if you think about it, and they are in those, you know, cliffs and canyons and everything, when they screech, you know, they can call the mate back to the nest. It echoes through.
Sure.
He knows he's like shaking here and he's not scared. He has a lot of adrenaline running through his body, so that's one way that they have to get adrenaline out. They have to like shake or grab with his feet, and he's actually not grabbing with his feet right now, so he's just burning off a little extra adrenaline there is what he's doing.
He doesn't look too terribly worried. I know the studio setting is a little unusual for him, so it's great to see that he's comparatively comfortable with that. You've got to wonder what he sees. His eyesight is so incredible.
Yeah, and I'm moving around a little bit to try to give him something else to focus on.
Sure.
So you got to keep this guy very busy.
Yep.
Which is one of the things that you do when you work here is you got to figure out, you know, the behavior of each species. So you know the way that I handle him would be completely different than I would handle a red-tailed hawk.
Sure.
You know.
Absolutely.
So I have to come up with little tricks and tips to try to
see you walking around the courtyard a lot when you're working with Pele,
Yeah.
because needs that movement, right?
He does, and there's just so much, that he's processing. So if I just keep him busy, keep his brain busy, keep his brain busy, it works out better for him. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and hand him on off.
Sounds great,
Thanks,
Melissa.
Maria.
Pele, thank you so much. I'll thank you also to our wonderful volunteer, Tracy, who is also helping us handle Pele today. And thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Friday. Don't know what we're doing, but it's going to be cool. This has been fascinating. Melissa, you're amazing.
Thank you.
And Pele, you're amazing too. Thanks, everybody. Everybody stay healthy, stay well. Visit us online at discoverwildcare.org, and we'll see you on Friday.